all. So I want to know how many repeaters are there, droppers are there in this, and how many +2 students, and how many +1 students. Some +1 students are coming. So how many are aspiring to get into AIIMS? I mean, I'm asking about passion. Passion matlab, I want it, or else I don't want anything else. Huh? Everyone? Okay. So we started this initiative actually, I mean, some of our friends, some of our enemies, many people asked me, okay, you all are into business, so are you planning to start an institute? So this was the first question that I faced. So that I want to clarify to all of you, we are not going to start an institute anyways. Because anyways, though, I mean, by God's grace, we got into AIIMS, so doctors बनना है, businessmen तो नहीं बनना है. और साथ में लेकिन what I felt is that when I cracked my exam in 2011, when I was doing my preparation, I faced many problems. Like I didn't have a particular book. I used to follow Pradeep for some books, Mera material for some other books. At last, when during my exam at last I followed NCERT, and because I didn't get time to look into other books for revision. So that should not happen to you all, because this exam actually is not at all tough. I can assure that, because this was the easiest exam I faced. I mean, I did my Kerala PMT. That was the worst exam I ever faced. Then I completed my AIPMT. That was okay, fine. So my rank also, it's same. I mean, Kerala ke liye I was 55, AIPMT ke liye 14th, and AIIMS ke liye 6th. So that was the, so what I felt was that, I mean, how I prepared, I mean, preparation was good. I mean, especially for AIIMS point of view. So what I feel about this North and South variation is that North में इतना ज़्यादा पढ़ाते हैं लोग, जो professors हैं, they feel कि you people are going to do research in that, right or wrong? And are you facing any difficulty कि this institute का books में, I mean इतना ज़्यादा, I mean I won't say the name of the institute because that's not professional. I will say कि I followed a institute material. In that I saw कि सेल का एक चैप्टर है इतना मोटा सेल का चैप्टर, and I read some of the pages. I'm now in pre-final year. I'm going to be in final year, but I'm shy to say that some points, you know, even I didn't know about it. That you people are following it. So I feel ki, first of all, I want to congratulate all of you for facing such things, and also I feel, you know, I feel sad ki you are following that, because such things are not needed for exam. And what you people will end up after following this, you know, you will follow everything because you are having good IQ. Anyone who feels that you are having low IQ, sahi mein. Anyways, we'll be having an IQ test. We will come to know about it. I mean, I was also a person who felt that when I was in Kerala, when I was studying for my exam, this DPS, this North, this Akash, this Alan was like nightmares. I felt कि AIIMS तो मतलब बिल्कुल नहीं करना है, because that is for North people. जो South में, my greatest aim was to get into any medical college in my state. And later, when I was dropping a year, my dream was थोड़ा बहुत extra हो गया. JIPMER was my aim. And later, I mean, I ended up here. So that was my concept. Later, I mean, when I came to AIIMS first year, I started getting calls. I started interacting with students. I came to know that most of the students are having similar problems. I will say some questions that I mean faced. I mean, every time when I open my FB, I will have 1 or 2 people asking the same question. Sir, is there any need of following NCERT for physics? Second question, physics NCERT is very boring. Third question, sir, biology के लिए Truman follow कर रहा हूँ. How much should I follow? Should I complete it totally? Or some telling I am following Akash का study materials, Alan का DLP और extra और कुछ चाहिए क्या? मैं बोलूँगा क्या? If you are following that much, you know, it's like you are completing 2nd year, 3rd year MBBS with good marks. And so this was the questions that I faced. So I thought कि मतलब at least तो directly students से बात करना है. So I talked with students. I asked you how you are preparing for biology. So some students told, except NCRT, एक student told, I'm following that book, I'm following this book, that book, I'm doing a DLP, I'm doing that. And that parent is also telling ki, I have bought my child 3 DLPs, एक CP, एक Akash, एक Alert. And the parent is actually now confused because student is not ready to give any of the DLP, I mean any of the test series. I asked why. Because Akash में एक unit का test paper होगा and Alert में एक another unit होगा. The student is actually in a stress condition. So what I want to say is that, I mean, whatever you follow, I mean, don't follow it blindly. Okay. So I won't say कि उनके materials में कुछ नहीं है. I mean, everything in that, everything that is asked for AIIMS or AIPMT is in it. It's very much similar, like I'm saying, you can search Google, you will get answer for everything. So इतने सारे data है, so you have to study first to segregate the data. जो exam के लिए जो चाहिए वो segregate करना है. I mean we did a survey in Uttar Pradesh. The place, I mean, it's like still like a nightmare for me because I went there, I talked with many professors over there, many students over there. I feel, I mean, you all will love this ex-student from UP. I mean, he is a third year dropper. I mean, third time he is going to attempt the exam. I asked, I mean, he came and asked, I want to study how to, I want to know how to study for AIIMS. I told कि आप +2 है या repeater है कितने साल sir 3 साल. I asked, okay fine. So he started telling his story. There the situation is very dirty situation, I should say, because students are under the impression that at least 4 years तो चाहिए to crack into any medical college. एक तो उनका myth यही है. तो you know what they do? First year they won't study. Second year they will start something. Third year they will be thorough with the English part, how to read and write English and all. Fourth year they will study, they will crack UPSC AIPMT. That is the situation. Students are actually like blindfolded ki what to do. AIIMS to adhuri baat hai. I mean UPs, they are not even cracking UPSC PMT. So that is the condition. So we thought of, actually we did the survey. We came to know कि कितने सारे problems है. सिर्फ 4 subjects है, physics, chemistry, biology और GK. लेकिन 4,000, 5,000 problems होगा. Students, एक तो student is not getting adequate study material. Not adequate, I mean worthy study material. Or some students in physics, they are telling कि NCRT तो बिल्कुल बेकार है. They are actually have aversion to NCRT. कितने बार मैं बोलूँ कि सारे के सारे assertion reasons NCRT से है, they will tell कि आप तो topper है. I mean, you will tell like that only. We have to follow other books. So I asked one question ki, did any of the teacher discuss about this? Ki there is a difference or there is no difference. At least did they discuss the syllabus? That is the basic thing. A chapter before teaching, I am not complaining about any teacher. They may be covering up everything, but I feel ki as a student, I want that. It acts as a checklist, so that you know, after the chapter, I feel ki I completed everything. ये chapter तो हो गया ही हो गया. So let's welcome the topper of 2014. First ranker from Andhra Pradesh, second ranker from Andhra Pradesh, and 17th rank from Gujarat.
Shri Vidhya, come.
Give them a round of applause.
2014 first ranker. And Vasishta Polisetty, 2014 second ranker. And Satwik, 2014 17th ranker. Actually, they are going to teach you the subject also. Like Vasishta will teach you the physics, Shri Vidhya will teach you organic, inorganic, and Satwik will teach you physical chemistry.
Actually, many of the parents also told us, I mean, are you going to, I mean, are these small students going to teach? I felt कि मतलब they will not teach, they will guide them. फिर तो that was what is the meaning of guidance? That students, only you people will come to know about it after the class, right? So they will discuss about their success stories and how they prepared, what were the difficulties. There are many myths associated with this exam, right? Because the question paper is not sent outside, and many publishers are making different questions and trying on students, experimenting their questions, whether it will work on their students or not. Okay, so how many of the students feel that the question paper that they are getting, the question model that they are getting are right or wrong? How many feel that they are right? So that we will discuss in detail. Let Srividya talk about her life, life before her AIIMS life, and how she prepared and how she got into AIIMS. And she is topper.
Hello everyone, I'm Srividya, I'm from Andhra, and why are those serious faces? Seriously, I'm not faculty or something, I'm just a year elder to you.
I mean, I am also that serious when I'm talking with her.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, AIIMS exam is basically an enigma because, as you said, you don't get the paper outside. And the model question papers that you get, people keep selling these are the last 10 years, AIIMS question papers and all that. Those are not actually accurate because who knows what the AIIMS question paper is, unless, like, we've written the exam and we'll tell the questions outside, like, that these are the questions we remember. And that's how they're going to reconstruct the question paper. So what the question papers you're going to get outside are not exactly true. So you should not base your studies on that.
Srividya, they want to know how did you prepare especially for AIIMS, anything?
Especially for AIIMS, I did not prepare anything exclusively. You have to make sure that NCERT concepts are strong. People make a lot of fuss ki AIIMS question paper. There's a
minute. And this is our another topper, Ayush, Goel, and Yash, Mittal. Just give them a. And this is our bio faculty, gold medalist of microbiology in AIIMS. And he was a second ranker 2011. I mean, he's also in my batch, 2011 batch second ranker. Oh, you can continue.
So I was saying ki your NCERT concepts should be strong. And people make a lot of fuss ki AIIMS is a higher level exam. You have to read a lot of things, but that is not actually true. You have to first make sure that what basics you have and the fundamentals, they're very strong because the questions they are going to ask are going to be on that only. You have to just use your wits and tackle the question. If you have any questions related to the exam, you can ask me.
Just, I also want everyone to take note of important points because these points I may not be telling and my points you may not be telling. Okay? I mean, that will be good because this part of our classroom program has started. I mean, did anyone come to know about that? It's already started. So each and everything that we tell will be important. So please take a note of it. How was the preparation in your coaching institute and all? What exclusively made your exam easy?
Actually, I am from Andhra, so we prepared exclusively for the Andhra Common Entrance Test. That was solely based on NCERT textbooks. So we made sure that those concepts were clear because in Andhra, there was a law ki in the exam there should be no question outside the textbook, and our textbooks were NCERT textbooks. So I just prepared the NCERT textbooks properly, and I think I was clear about the concepts, about the basics. That's why I got crack.
And it will be an interactive session actually. Okay, so everyone will be you should be ready to ask their question because you won't be able to meet them later. Okay, so you can shoot your questions, and whatever problems you are facing, how did she prepare that? How did she prepare this? What? There's another interesting way. What food is she taking?
Studies. Just before the exam. Yeah, that's a very important point. Throughout the year, you should make sure that you are writing your own short notes. Like when you're reading the textbook, you should make sure that what points you think that you might forget later. Not the entire textbook. You don't need to write the entire textbook while reading. You have to note down the small things that you feel that you'll forget later, so that by the end of the year, you have your entire entire biology in one book, which you have written for yourself. So that consolidation in the last moment will be easy because just before the exam, 2 days, you'll have 3 hours to prepare biology, 3 hours to prepare for physics. So at that time, you need to have a clear idea how, you have to have a proper planning because it will be very difficult to consolidate the entire textbooks. You should not open the textbook before the exam. What you have thought of earlier, what you have planned, only that you have to read, your short notes. I found that very useful for myself.
That is really a good point, because making notes is really important, especially not just in medical entrance, of course in your future life also, because we will be cramming many things, but later we won't be able to reproduce everything during exam. So this short notes really at last will service the thing. Okay. So that is a very good point that you also should practice. I guess most of you would have started preparing the short notes also. That is the best way to study AIIMS exam, for AIIMS exam.
And
Okay.
that short notes should be what you have written. You know, people used to steal each other's short notes. I don't know what they would achieve by doing that, but don't do that. It should be for yourself. You should not try to emulate others, because your own style of studying is yours. So what you might be feeling comfortable while reading, that may not be the one that is for others.
What did you feel ki AIIMS exam was tough, more tough than the state entrance or the opposite?
Our state final exam was very easy, but the practice tests we had were very tough compared to AIIMS. AIIMS final exam, see, I was telling you that AIIMS exam is basically an anemia. Biology was entirely from NCERT textbook. Even the graphs were asked as questions, because there was one, I don't know if you have opened evolution chapter, for example. In that there's one graph about the timelines during evolution. Those, I don't exactly remember right now.
So we will go in a systematic order. We will discuss biology first, physics, chemistry, GK. Okay. So abhi you'll be able to know about biology part. Biology mein what were the exclusive things asked.
So that's just an example. Ki even that was asked as a question. I initially neglected that, and finally in the exam I lost that question. But then you have to be so specific while reading NCERT that you know even the page numbers at what side of the book, what topic is there, so that even if you don't remember what is in the textbook, it will be easy for you to go back and refer. You don't have to search the entire textbook what you're searching for. You should have a general idea.
So about physics.
Physics.
How was the physics question? Because most of the students are under the impression कि HC Verma cover नहीं कर रहे तो फिर AIIMS तो नहीं देखना है. HC Verma के
I have never opened the book.
I mean HC Verma के बारे में I came to know about him after coming to my first year AIIMS I came to know about. He is a professor in IIT Kanpur, I guess. Through that only I didn't know कि there was a book and all. So many of the AIIMS aspirants, I mean I won't say कि AIPMT students, many of the AIIMS aspirants are under the impression कि HC Verma follow करना है. I mean, I feel कि those were the books actually followed by IIT students. IIT का level ज़्यादा है. We should accept that fact. Though I also don't feel like accepting that fact. We should accept कि it's more conceptual. It will involve rather than a single chapter. It will involve more than 2 to 3 chapters. Okay. So HC Verma के बारे में discuss. I mean, I don't have any problem with that author, but I will say कि AIIMS aspirants, there is no need of following that textbook. Okay.
Any doubt? If you wanna ask some more. AFMC actually अभी AIPMT में included है. हाँ पढ़ने के लिए AFMC का exam और AIPMT exam अभी तो it's the same exam.
Actually, AFMC exam I also give. I mean, there's no rather than you should complete the exam in time. All the questions will be very easy. Puzzles, I mean, riddles are there, GK questions are there. Everything will be easy. That should discuss AIPMT और AIIMS के बीच का difference और exam का difference. Of course. I mean, that is a misconception. If there are any professors telling that you should correct it and write the exam during that, you should not do, because our जो exam है, the final say is NCERT book. Whatever be the exam, AIIMS का exam, we are not even in a position to question because we are not getting the question paper. So AIPMT के लिए, I mean, if some kind of a problem arises, then the final say will be NCERT book. No, I mean NCERT book. If there are any changes, I mean, you have, if it is mistake also, you have to write that NCERT answer itself. Okay.
For physics, everything. Biology, you can stick to NCERT. if you have any doubts in the concepts, because NCERT is slightly vague about some concepts, if you want to pursue more in that direction, then you can see, but you should not forget what you're reading for. You are not doing research or something at this level. You'll do that after you come. For biology, you don't need to refer anything else. You can build some concepts. For example, you have photosynthesis and respiration. Those, they're slightly vague. You can just refer a book or you can ask your teachers. I think they'll be very helpful. Like while teaching detail, they'll give all that. That's enough. For biology, you don't need to refer anything. Chemistry, though, if you read the entire chemistry textbook, that's enough. I did not read any other textbook. For physics, you see, the questions will be based on what is in the concepts in the textbooks. But physics questions are not like you refer a book and questions will come from that. You have to apply your mind, you have to apply your wits, and you have to use logic to solve those questions. But the concepts will be entirely based on NCERT. Many people don't read the matter in NCERT because they keep solving questions, but that is not actually right. You have to read the concepts in NCERT. They're very well written also. They're very, what do I have to say? They're very articulate. They're very beautifully written also, so you'll enjoy physics. It's not a pain or something. So you have to read the NCERT textbook, and there are some additional questions and all. They're higher levels, but if you do that, then it'll be good.
Next, shall we pass to Nikhil Mehta? He will discuss about mainly the biology part because he is doing research in +2 and +1 biology because he didn't even go for his Diwali vacation, holidays, because he wanted you students to get benefited because he was preparing the study materials and all. So hats off to his hard work, and let's hope that, and we have got it printed, the book is already, we have got it printed and it's beautifully presented and all. So let's see what he had to say about this biology part.
So any questions? You can start somewhere. Yes, you? Just speak a bit louder. Let me tell you, I was from Akash. First of all. Okay. And you know AIITS? Like there were 33 AIITS in my time. I was the first anchor in 31 of them, number one. Number two, there were like 63 tests total. I was the first anchor in 62 of them. Even the classification and the biomolecules. I think you must have been taught the glucose structure, rotation, everything, which is basically an organic chemistry part. And these things aren't important at all. They won't be asked, they haven't been asked. I'll be telling you during my classroom sessions which things are important and which are not. So these aren't important at all. The single paragraph in NCERT, that is important. And to comprehend it, I'll help you. Like, how can you comprehend the paragraph? You don't need to do the rest of the things. Anybody else? Yes, you?
Whether they have to follow old NCERT also along with. You are studying old NCERT.
Just for the new NCERT. Actually, there are like, I think, total 17 of all the concepts which are important in the old NCERT. I have written them separately in the book. That's all. Because these have been asked and, okay, continue. Just repeat.
Is there any need of extra materials outside NCERT?
No, seriously no. Because just, let me tell you, there were I think 1 or 2 diagrams this year in AIIMS, human physiology, and they were ditto copy of NCERT. In my time, see, there was a figure-based.
Actually, the syllabus have already changed. From 2009 and 10, it's totally based on new NCERT now.
From 6 years, this NCERT has been going on, like, so it's not required at all. The old NCERT, see, it is not required at all. Even in the past 3 years, I've seen the AIIMS exam question papers, the questions which are exclusively in the old NCERT and not in the new NCERT, it has been like 1 or 2. I've included them. So for that, you are going to refer the whole book is not important at all. The syllabus has been changed a long time ago.
Just one more point. Actually, if you see last year AIPMT exam, you may find that out of the 200, out of the jitna questions are biology ke liye, some students told that they couldn't find 6 or 7 questions in NCERT. They feel that they were outside NCERT part. Okay. So actually, we were also confused. I mean, there is no point that teachers should include that questions. Later, we came to know that those 6 or 7 questions were from the syllabus itself, and there's a separate book called Practical Book for Biology for +2 students, +2 and +1 students. I guess students might forget. I mean, during my time, I forgot, but I was so lucky to scrape through my exam. But that is not your case. I mean, try to follow that also. Not the whole book. I mean, the rest that is not given in the NCERT textbook. Some points are exclusively in that part. Last time they wanted some kind of questions from that, so they included in that, and they were successful in that because most of the students felt it as out of the blue questions. So many of them made it wrong. So you should also not feel that they were outside NCERT, so what we are telling is wrong, because we have, personally we found that answer in the other textbook. We can't say that is outside NCERT because that is a book that is prescribed for your practical exam in +1, +2. So those are actually what we try to do, is that we try to include that in our NCERT, I mean in our study material also. So there's no need of going back and searching that book. We are already included in our material, and you will feel benefited out of it. If they are planning for the next year also, we are expecting such questions from them, because everyone is following NCERT, I mean, bar 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. So it's very difficult in competition. It's very difficult to take the creamy layer out of this, because everyone know all the questions that is asked. Everyone know the chapter number, page number. So that is the situation. So they will of course try to ask questions from the other book, and this time also they will maybe around 10 questions, yeah, 6 to 7 questions at least. So be prepared for that.
So there's a section in the study material, AIIMS High Yield Concepts. It incorporates the key points from the practical book. So you can refer to that. Anyways, I'll be sending the PDF file for the whole material, the NCERT material itself, so you can take it anytime. Anybody else?
If you have any doubt regarding the biology part, you can ask it right now. How to prepare, कैसे prepare करना है, I mean, what the difficulty that you are following in test series?
आपको IP देनी है या AIIMS NEET पे focus करना है? अगर आपको IP देनी है तो मैं पहले ही बता दूँ, just don't focus on IP. अगर आपको IP का इतना ही पढ़ना है तो you have to read the cast study material. उसमें काफ़ी extra है, उसके लिए पढ़ना पड़ेगा. IP material is like the old AIPMT stuff. So I also gave the IP paper. I qualified for the pre, but I didn't give the mains. Why? Because I was already selected, so no matter. लेकिन IP के लिए मैं बोलूँगा कि आप, it's like even if you get a 800 rank or 1000 rank in IP, you can get selected in the third counseling. Earlier they used to have a third counseling in IP. Last year they didn't have, so it's easy to get selected in IP if you want.
I've seen AIPMT previous year's papers. They ask hardly 2 to 3 questions from that, and that too from NCERT. But our teachers suggest that you should learn all these things because you have to give other exams, especially AIIMS. So,
especially AIIMS. Yeah. Nikhil Mehta, you can answer to this. She's from Agash. You will be really angry, because he was telling him, stressing on that fact again and again.
So like 15 years ago, animal kingdom used to be a very important topic. Have you ever heard of a book called P. Kaushik for botany and like Ramesh Kumar for zoology? They were used to be followed like in CPMT examination. And yes, 20 years ago, AIIMS questions used to do sea lantern and everything, all the eponyms and everything. Every crap name and everything. But they are not required now. For the last 10 years or so, you have solved 10 years, she has answered her question herself. For the last 10 years or so, there haven't been any question asked of this topic which is not being taught to you in NCERT or extra. So I will just request you for AIIMS. For IP you might be needing. For other state examinations you might be needing. For AIIMS and for NEET, you do not require the Animalia chapter, anything outside the NCERT. I've incorporated this in the text notes also, in the study material. The study material exclusively for this Animalia chapter is prepared for NCERT, and I think so 2-3 outside NCERT stuffs.
This is Ayush Goel, and he'll be discussing about his experiences during his coaching time and during the exam time, and after cracking it, what all he felt.
Like everyone said, reading NCERT is extremely important, and definitely all the questions are going to be from NCERT. Like specific lines will be there. Even at the AIIMS exam when you gave it, the ARs, especially in physics and chemistry, the lines, they just come up from NCERT. You find the exact line in NCERT when you go and read it back. You realize that you have made such a great mistake by not reading it. In biology also, everything is from NCERT, especially in chemistry, inorganic chemistry. All questions like they're just simply jotted down. Exact the same thing is coming and they're asking was done. So please read NCERT extremely carefully. For physics, like read NCERT once at least, especially the points to ponder part. Don't miss that. That points to ponder definitely contains some of the things that are going to come in AIIMS. Because something that's extra and something that's outside. So read that point to ponder part. Then solve questions definitely. And build your concepts that are extremely necessary. The difference between NEET and AIIMS in terms of level is that AIIMS likes to test your concepts a bit more than as AIPMT or NEET would do. So for that, you need to be thorough with your text. Just not mugging up the formulas, but trying to know how it has come. And a bit about it will help for you to solve AIIMS. And for inorganic chemistry, please stick to NCERT. Don't need anything more. Everything is there in NCERT. So please stick to that. If someone would like to ask some question or something. Yeah, please. If you're from a coaching institute, the best thing is to solve your own coaching paper, coaching things. That's best. And if you're not, then maybe some MTG magazine or something of that sort. The best thing is if you are from a coaching institute, please solve that. That is the best thing. Because you can go back to your teachers and refer. That is best. Okay. So that's a problem that's going to be faced by most of us. We complain of this only for AIIMS. So the thing is concepts. You need to have the proper concepts. With time, when you're solving, you'll realize what they actually want. And you have your teachers, you can go back and consult. The main thing is concepts. Once you understand, you'll definitely get to know what is the reason or what. If the second thing is if the reason is the cause of the assertion, then the answer has to be A. So if your concepts are clear, you automatically realize that I should be giving it A. So with time and with practice and by consulting your teacher and talking to them, you'll definitely be more comfortable with it. Anyone else? Yeah. Like the questions are a bit more difficult when you come to the additional exercises, so you can just go through them, try solving them, but just don't get demotivated if you're not able to solve them. You can try them, but don't get demotivated. It's just it's better for you if you can do it, because it'll just help you to solve the easy questions a bit more easily. But if you can't do it, don't get demotivated. Yeah. It's not exactly very important for your examinations, but definitely if you are doing it, you'll gain something. It can help you, but it's not that important. So that's what I'm saying. You can try solving them, but if you're not able to solve them, just don't get demotivated by it. Yeah. Like that was my personal choice. To be very honest, the books I read, apart from NCERTs, were practically of no use in solving any of the examinations. If I have friends who haven't read any of those books, but they're still studying with me. It's like something else. I wanted to crack the Olympiads as well. So that was the main motive of studying those other books. But trust me, it has got no use when you're giving your examinations. You will feel, moreover, sometimes it just makes things more difficult. Because you think way ahead, and at the end of the day, you make silly mistakes and you mess up with simple questions and you end up getting less marks than your friend who has read just NCERT. That's happened with me a number of times. So it's better you just stick to the simple concepts and do it. Yeah. Like once you need to read NCERT, but NCERT is a bit difficult when it comes to physics. So it's better if you read your notes once, and after reading your notes, you should go back to NCERT and just read it once again. So your notes and your NCERT will be sufficient enough for your theory part. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, for questions, you first should refer to your own coaching material. For physics, you can even go back to DC Pandey. That's a good book for MCQ questions of physics. Like DC Pandey, there are 3 editions, one for AIEEE, one for AIPMT, one for IIT. So go back to that AIPMT thing. So it has got many different levels also. So level 2 is good enough for AIIMS. Actually, in DC Pandey, if you just open the book, you'll find a section that is comprising only of previous year's questions. So it's all a compilation. If you're solving that book is extremely good. Like it is given in different levels. Level 1, level 2. Level 2 is a bit higher, but that is like good for AIIMS. If you're able to do level 2, this means you are compatible to have to come into AIIMS. You'll do good in your exams. And the section which has all the compilation of all the different year examinations, that's also helpful. So like you should have an idea of what is being asked in the different examinations so that you can orient your study according to it. Like there are some formulas which are practically of no use and never coming up, like some formulas of maybe fluid dynamics, fluid mechanics, which comes in AIIMS. There are some formulas which never come, but we are taught. So if you have an idea of what's coming, what's being asked, it will be easier for you. Just solve DC Pandey. I'll recommend people to solve DC Pandey.
Any other questions?
You mean the last month, that is a month between AIPMT and AIIMS, or just before AIPMT? Like Vidhya answered, like all throughout your study, you should make sure that you're writing notes. And even if you're not writing notes, at least you're underlining the important concepts in your books. Because at the end of the year, when you find you're getting your exams, you need to have everything, you need to know what is important and what is not. Because you can't read everything just before the examinations. So while you're reading, if you just underline or just write down the important things at one place, you can go back to them in a very short period of time and go over all the things. That is going to help you. So just make a habit of either underlining the important concepts in your books or either just writing them in the form of notes. Yeah, for physics, you can make a habit of writing the important formulas that you find at one place. Like Alan, if you're from Alan definitely gives a handbook of physics. So it has all the formulas. So for physics, you don't need to do anything like that. But if people are not from Alan, then you can just make a habit of jotting the formulas down at one place. The formulas that you feel that you tend to forget, these things can be written down in one place so that you can go back to them whenever you want. Just stick it up in your study table or something of that sort.
So shall we invite Yash Mittal?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ayush. Yash Mittal was second ranker on the Institute of Medical Science exam.
Hello everyone. First of all, I'd like to talk about the last months that he said. I think personally, for the last month before AIPMT, the best thing you can do is solving many previous year papers. That is the best thing to do. Fix your time, 3 hours, sit alone and solve the papers. That will actually help you to analyze like if you will be able to solve the exam in that situation. For the month between PMT and AIIMS, I think that is the best month to study how to solve the AR questions. We were, like I used to do, we 2 or 3 friends used to solve the same questions in a day, and at the end we used to discuss how I solved it, what I think and what my friend thinks, and the problems we used to discuss with our teachers. So I think there is a proper criteria to distinguish between A and B, and at the end I was so sure that maximum of the questions I can differentiate very well between A and B. So you should solve AR questions now, but you don't have to worry that much. Instead of that, focus from January to May, that is before AIPMT. You don't need to solve any AR questions, just focus on AIPMT, only on AIPMT. That means solving only the easy or the list of questions that can be coming in the AIPMT exam, and not solving any AR questions, only doing the NCERT and just the basic level questions that come in AIPMT. And the next month that you have between PMT and AIIMS, that is the best time to solve, to move on to the level 2 questions of DC Pandey, to move on to some questions of H.C. Verma, and doing the points to ponder of NCERT. And about making short notes, personally I think, which is my experience, you really should make some notes of organic chemistry. You're from which class? All of you are from 12th or both?
12 and droppers both are included.
Okay. Uh, for organic chemistry, like you don't have to skip the reaction mechanisms when you're studying them. But when you're over with it, when you've understood, then leave them aside. Just the name of the reactions and the exceptions that that will be coming. You just take a paper and write all of them chapter wise. So at the end, if you are very good, if you have the practice of making notes, at the end you'll have 5 sheets uh, and the whole organic chemistry. That means one single NCRT book, like part 2. That will be in your hand in 5 pages. I had that, and till the end, for 7 or 8 months, I just studied those 5 pages. So before the test, I used to devote only 1 hour to that part, and other than that, I used to solve questions for organic chemistry, organic. Like only cramming the theory part will not help in that. And in inorganic chemistry, even the values like electrode potential of some metals, they can come in the exam. Like very, you have to read very thoroughly the NCRT of inorganic chemistry, especially. And in physical chemistry, uh, those who are from Allen Institute, the module questions are very good for that part. And I think you don't have to skip the NCRT for anything, but in chemistry, the inorganic chemistry part is very good in NCRT, and that will be coming. All of the questions will be coming from that part. And in physics, like if you have read well in the class, read the notes, then you can move on to NCRT. But you should never stop solving questions for the whole time. Like it's not like that I studied the theory for 1 month or 10 days and I skip the questions. Fix 1 hour or so for the whole time, and keep the practice of solving questions till the end for physics. Any questions you would like to ask? Yes? Yes? I didn't do GK. I got 2 or 3 marks.
GK portion will be discussed. I mean, today is a day of GK, and we'll be discussing just after this.
Okay. Yes?
She's telling ki reaction mechanism should be given importance. I mean, for all reactions or
The
just
reaction-
given
The
in
reaction
NCERT.
mechanism in NCRT, you have to read them once or twice. Yeah, I think those who are mentioned, they mentioned the type of the reaction, and that type of reaction is in the 11th NCRT part, right?
Reaction mechanism chapter.
Yeah, reaction mechanism chapter. I don't think they will mention a new name of any reaction mechanism, and if it is a new name that you don't know, and it's not in the NCRT, then skip it. It's okay. Yeah.
So,
Anyone else?
inviting Satwik. Thanks a lot, Yash. He'll be handling the physical chemistry part for you, and you can ask more questions regarding that.
Hello. Most of the points have already been covered by the previous speakers. I would like to add one small point. Especially in physics, there was one thing which troubled me during when I was studying. What level of question should I do? In all books, there are certain questions which are much tougher than the ones which are asked in exams. Practically speaking, it is of no use to do such difficult questions, but there is one advantage of doing them. When you solve difficult questions, you'll realize how clear your concepts are. It's a way of assessing the clarity of concepts you have acquired during your reading time. So if you are able to solve tough questions, that means you have clear concepts, and if you find some difficulty in solving them, that points to a small need of referring back to the theory so that you can get your concepts more clear. But there is no need to do them practically for the exam, and you should not be demotivated if you cannot do that. One more thing is, especially in numericals, we keep on focusing on remembering the formulas. First of all, you do not need to remember all the formulas. If you know the concepts, you can derive it at the time of solving. And it won't take up time, definitely, and when you practice a lot, you will automatically remember the formula. And the second thing is, even if you know the formula, even if you know how to approach a particular numerical, one more thing that will affect your numerical solving ability in exams is the time in which you can do that. There are certain numericals which have very random decimals and very complicated numbers which you cannot solve even if you know the formula. Even if you put the right things at the right places, it will take up a lot of time. So the only way to counter this is you keep practicing, develop arithmetic ability, and that will help you reduce the time you allot to numerical so that you can allot more time to the remaining questions. Rest of the things have already been covered. If you have questions, you can ask.
And there's a special point about Satwik. He didn't take any coaching to get into AIIMS. Not even, not Akash, not Alan. No coaching. Self-study, literally self-study. So special congratulations to him, right?
And so I can say it is not that difficult even if you do not have coaching. All you need to focus is concepts, and you need to have a strong study method. You need to stick to a method which suits you the best. You don't need to follow anyone. You don't need to follow any set method. You need to develop your own. That's it. If you
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Satwik. I'm inviting our physics faculty. He was a second ranker AIIMS 2014. I called him last because I want him to see a lot of things, because he's a person we have been working a lot for physics thing, revising old chapters, re-editing the thermodynamics chapter again and again. So big hats off to him for preparing such a good material for you all.
Hello, good evening all. Against what Ajay said, I won't be taking much time. I'll be taking 8 hours of physics for you. So 8 hours of physics is quite a lot of time. So I'll be talking all of this then. So one thing I would like to talk about is, what they have all talked about is the exam and preparation as such. I would like to talk about this program. So I was there during the admissions day right here at Bluebell, and there were quite a lot of parents also. Everyone was doubtful, physics for 8 hours, what would you do there? Would you teach them physics? So my answer was I was a student until 2 months ago, and you're also students. So no point in me teaching you physics, and that too, आपको मेरे से ज़्यादा physics आता है, that is for sure, because once you finish your exam, it's like blank. और कोई पढ़ना नहीं चाहता, and actually they were searching for the faculty. They called me during their ragging time whatsoever, and then they asked me, will you do physics? तो मैंने पूछा, अरे भाई मैं क्या पढ़ाऊँगा? It's quite difficult, right? For teaching physics you need to be at a different level. Teaching is different and guiding you is different. So not only physics, the chemistry faculty and the biology faculty will also be doing the same thing. The point you should understand is they will not be teaching you as such. You'll get to know once they start with biology tomorrow. So the point is, we'll be telling you what is important and what is not. And obviously you'll be forgetting it once the program is over. So the point, what we would like to convey is, you should get a feeling of what is important and what is not. So you should be able to understand what is important and what is not once you look at whatever you're reading. And you should be able to analyze कि ये इस exam में पूछा जा सकता है, ये नहीं. And what I can guarantee after this program to you is, you will have such a feeling. Because what I could see, when I compare between myself and other students at my coaching, I was from Hyderabad, Sri Chaitanya, you might have heard. And what difference I could see is people used to study whatever they used to find, but you get to know what is important and what is not. That was my feeling. When you look at something and this is important, let's get more deeper into it. Chahe NCERT mein ho, the point is that whatever is in NCERT is not so important as in an exam point of view, especially when physics is concerned. So that is a guarantee I would give you after 1 month of this program, and make sure you make the most out of it, because we are just students, we are just the other side of the table as of now. We are not teachers, we are not going to teach you. So have any doubts, please do ask. Doubts in the sense not academic, you have better teachers, you go to school, you go to coaching, and they'll solve it better than you. If you want to ask, you can ask us, but I'm sure your teachers would be obviously better. So try to make most of this program. We never had such a thing. So this will just help you getting into AIIMS, I'm sure for that. So any doubts?
Any of you, if you're having any difficulty in physics part, you can ask him, because there's no better student who can explain this physics part to you. It's very difficult for a general category student to get into AIIMS. I mean, I'm feeling proud hearing that I am a general category student.
As such, I never thought of the admission part of it. Matlab, you give your effort and leave the rest. Matlab, never think of the result. If you have done enough, matlab, you'll understand whether you have done it yourself or not. You'll get the feeling that you have done it or not. Agar matlab, you have some feeling that you still haven't finished everything, you have not given your 100%. If you have that feeling, you will not get through, that is for sure. But if you have the feeling that whatsoever you have done, you have put in your 100%, I'm sure you might be able to crack it.
Self-motivation. That's a good question.
हम अपने आप को self motivate कैसे करके रखेंगे till the end? मतलब ऐसा लगे कि हाँ थोड़ा आराम कर सकते हैं.
I did a very good thing कि I tried to avoid very tough questions. I tried to do more questions which are very easy for me, so that while doing such questions I will feel more confident.
जैसे physics में होता है, आज 4 घंटे हो गए, अरे नहीं हो रहा, छोड़ दो.
ऐसा नहीं है. I mean
कौन से 40 के 45 क्वेश्चन हमने करने हैं, तो 30 कर लेंगे, 40 कर लेंगे, सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा.
Physics. I mean, this is a general question. I mean, anyone can answer. In that, about self-motivation part, I did that part because, jitna, I mean, first when I was doing my schooling, I thought of trying to solve all the tough questions, so that I also was under the impression कि जैसे IIT है वैसे ही AIIMS. AIIMS is the medical IIT. So tough questions है. So I used to solve very big questions and all, along with my IIT friends. They got into IIT for the first time. I had to take a drop for the same thing I followed. So next time when I gave my exam, 2010 also I gave my AIIMS exam, I felt I understood it. Though I couldn't clear it, I tried to read all the questions. I could understand what is the pattern that they're following. So let's see the next year, the next 1 year what I did was that, I mean, when I see the question, I could feel कि is that much standard question to ask for AIIMS, or is it higher than that? So I used to follow only that question which I feel ki this is up to a level ki you can, this is not AIIMS IIT question, so I can solve it. If it was such tough questions, we used to discuss it in our class rather than trying it alone. Because while trying it, I feel demotivated again and again. So I tried that part, and along with that, prayer has a great strength. You know, you should believe in yourself, believe in the Lord, and believe in your hard work. So everything will be fine then.
And one more thing I would like to tell you is physics ke liye I'll be focusing on that later. And what coaching institutes generally do is they focus more on the numericals. So what I've observed after giving the exam once is that there are 40 plus 20 questions. 40 questions are MCQs and 20 are assertion reasons. So what AIIMS exam generally wants to test in you is that the 40 questions are going to test how much memory whatsoever you have, and the 20 assertion reasons are going to test the concept. So that is what makes the difference between AIPMT and AIIMS, and that's just the assertion reason and questions where you have to do well. And like one guy asked what is the difference between the first and second option, and many people get confused. So yeah, many people do get confused, but once you're right in the concept, there's absolutely no difference between one and two. You get to know that this is the explanation and this is not. And why many people face the difficulty is because they're not clear with their concept. Many are not clear with their concepts, and that is because all the coaching institutes focus on the numerical part. So my physics, 8 hours of physics will be more on the conceptual part, because I believe that most of your coaching institutes whatsoever, and maybe even if you're not taking a coaching, you will be focusing more on numericals. That is inherent, obviously. So So the 8 hours will be dedicated more on to the concepts. That's what I would like to do. We'll be focusing on some numericals also.
Of course.
Is any
If
more
you're
doubts?
having any doubt regarding physics, how to study and all.
कुछ
हाँ,
भी पूछ लो
okay.
यार. One more thing is like I was in Chaitanya, so we had almost 2 exams every week, and so writing an exam was never something new for us. So our coaching program was for 2 years. So writing exams is like you get excited in the first exam or so when you enter Chaitanya, but then once you start writing exams, it's nothing new. So like we wrote our AIIMS exam, AIPMT finals, whatsoever, and it was just like writing another weekly exam. So what I would like to suggest, even if you're taking coaching or not, you have many books which give you question papers. It is not necessary that the questions are good or not, but just make sure that you put some time and you keep solving questions as such, not in a casual way, but in a time-bound method as an exam pattern, so that writing an exam is nothing new for you. And I don't think so AIIMS, there's a time constraint. Like I could finish well in time and people all around me in the center were sleeping. It's like you get so much time, you don't know what to do with it. And the point is you have to use pen. So you have bubbled almost everything and then you don't know what to do. So I would suggest bubbling at the end. So time is never a constraint as in AIIMS, AIPMT also.
Okay.
You'll have enough time, that's not an issue. But make sure that you keep writing exams whatsoever.
You
Test
all are
series
going
or
to institutes and also exam won't be a problem for you.
don't take them lightly. मतलब सोच सकते हो कि लास्ट के 1 मंथ में ठीक से लिखेंगे एग्जाम, अभी मतलब क्वेश्चन पेपर लेके बाद में सॉल्व करेंगे. That is not going to happen whatsoever. मतलब even if you are prepared well or not, write the exam with the same focus you would be writing the final exam whatsoever. मतलब howsoever small it is, write it with the focus that you are writing the final exam.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah, shoot.
That's quite a good thing because AIIMS focuses more on second year as of physics is concerned, and also organic is more in second year, so it's fine. But point is you'll be revising once more, I suppose, once your 12th is done. Board exams, I don't know why you people take it so seriously. Like, is it important? I don't know. I personally don't know. For us, board exams were something like they just passed by. So I don't think so. It's your you should prioritize. Like you want to do board exams better or your competitive exam. But one thing I feel is once you're clear with the concept, you can write a descriptive answer also. That's not much difficult. So it's your wish. You have to prioritize which one over what. Obviously, you would. I would prefer studying in an objective way or clearing concepts which were not clear in my 11th class, because that would obviously help ultimately. Ultimately, like what your goal is, what you choose it to be. So if you want to focus on boards, you can do that. Any more? Yeah. Yeah, I can't. Oh, the number of questions I attempted in AIIMS. Like this time in AIIMS, they made it a point that you write down how many questions you left unanswered. So I left almost 9. So the rest all I attempted. The percentage AIIMS gives out, I got almost 74%. That makes 158. So what you can understand is I lost a lot of questions. So my feeling personally was, मतलब तुक्का मारो, मतलब लगेगा तो लगेगा. So
I left 22 questions. Yeah, I stood first, but then it was only 1 mark difference. But I lost less marks in negative. I thought I would answer only those questions which I was sure about, especially GK. GK, I didn't attempt anything. Like what I knew for sure, I only attempted that, and I got how many questions I answered. Only that. He got more in GK.
So So what I would tell is everyone's strategy is different, and that's what you build up when you do more of question papers. Not questions as such, but question papers. So once you put it in a time-bound frame and start solving exams as such, and then you'll understand what your strategy is and you can experiment yourself with it. You have got lots of time. 2 years is a lot of time to experiment with it. So keep writing exams and experiment with your strategies. You'll find out the best one what is for you. For me, it was always better that just guess aayega to aayega, and most of the times my guesses were correct. And like her strategy was to be more accurate, and that helped her. So it's all up to you. It's all more questions.
Thanks a lot, Vashisht. And this was a session actually we arranged so that, you know, we understand all your myths associated with this exam. Because though we have talked with many students also, still we are lacking information about what students' feelings about this exam. With that only, from the next day, we will be able to give you as much as we can. Because many people now told about the time management thing, so that we will tell more about it. Some told about assertion reason part. That is, of course, a good point. We'll be discussing about it, how to solve it. There's a systematic way to follow how to solve a assertion reason. By following that, I guess you will feel it easy to differentiate between option A and option B. Because that is a worst thing, I guess. I mean, option B and option B ka difference is very difficult because we feel ki it's of course pakka option A, but it will be option B. So same the reverse. So we'll be discussing that also. And in physics part, we'll be concentrating more, as he told, we'll be concentrating more on the concepts part, and we'll be trying to simplify this NCERT thing. Because nowadays what we are feeling is that NCERT se काफी assertion reason पूछते हैं directly. I mean, from 2010 also I came to understand, because 2010 when I gave my first exam, I found that I just knew about this NCERT part only. So many of the questions I could at least attempt it. Though I was not sure I could attempt it. So next year 2011 I was sure कि मतलब ये सब cover करके जाना है. What will be the reason? So I finished all that part. I mean, I marked the important points. I mean, the जो theory parts है. I mean, in physics you can divide the chapter into 2 parts. They will explain with the help of an example, and later they will give the theory of it. So the जो theory part वो काफी important है, because I used to mark it with my highlighter, and later I used to revise that only because I was very lazy to read the whole chapter again and again, especially for physics. So it was actually very helpful for me, because during exam what I saw is that those directly the same words, same sentences were taken from the NCERT textbook and given directly as questions. So physics part, I guess physics assertion reason part, I will ask every one of you to follow that textbook only. No need to do any other outside assertion reason part, because that is of course really hectic also. Sath that's not needed for your exam also. But I can assure one thing, 2015 exam, I mean, this is a trend that they're following from 2010. So they won't be changing it. So they will be taken directly from the NCERT part. They will be giving it to as assertion. And most of the answers were, in my year, it was A. Because it was directly the reason, because was involved in everything in textbook. So I was actually not that much confused between option A and B in physics part. And in biology ka part, actually there's confusion, because in biology, there's no reason for it. It is, why it is so? Because it is so. I mean, there's no reason for it. NCERT mein, I mean, you will find ki if you have a PDF file of NCERT, just search Control F and try to find how many because words are there. There will be very less compared to that in physics. Physics, they try to explain each and everything that they can. So there's no point of studying outside NCERT for physics. Biologically, it depends more on your I won't say it as luck, more on your concept part. I mean, kitne baar you are reading your chapter, it will imprint it on your mind. At last, I mean, of course, for biology also the option will be more of A rather than B. They want more of an A rather than B. So that also difference can be covered. So in chemistry part also the same thing. You will be able to find many because things they try to explain. For example, any reaction mechanism they try to explain, and they will say this is due to this reaction mechanism. Of course, that will come under option A. So now I will discuss what are the golden rules that you should know while preparing GK for AIIMS exam. Okay. So first point is never ignore GK portion if you want to clear AIIMS. Because many of you feel that, अरे GK question है क्या करना है, अरे that is just for nothing, I mean leave it like that. ऐसा नहीं है. एक GK question carries the same weightage as a physics question. You feel कि मतलब physics question थोड़ा बहुत difficult होगा. It is having the equal weightage. If you make it wrong, you will get -1/3. If you are right, you will get 1. Okay. So बिल्कुल ignore नहीं करना है. Okay. If you want to clear, because those toppers who have topped exam, I mean those who have cleared exam, just ask them, just check their result. You will feel ki out of 20, they would have at least they would have got 12 or 13 right. Okay. And those who haven't cleared, maybe 2 to 3. Also, it adds up to the total score, right? So think in that way. And next point is really the contradictory of the point number 1. Never give more importance to, because there's no need of giving that much importance to GK. I mean, I want to crack in, so I will follow the study material that civil service students are following. ऐसा भी नहीं करना है. So बीच में चलना है ना. I mean, we want to crack AIIMS also. We don't want to go to that level also. So I can give you an example. There is a book, General Knowledge for AIIMS. They named it as General Studies कुछ है. I mean, I know that some students may be following that for AIIMS also. I mean, at least they might have bought it. So I don't want that also to be done. इतना मोटा books नहीं पढ़ना है. I mean, use that time for something useful. Use this just to cover up your free time, or whenever you are dull with other subjects, you can utilize it. Okay. So third point is, any important news related to AIIMS or medical field is really important. Because science plus, you may be reading out of curiosity in newspapers and all, and something which evokes interest in you regarding AIIMS and all. Of course, as you are AIIMS aspirants having passion for AIIMS exam, so of course you will be more interested in it. Just note some points also in that, okay? And fourth point is, active group discussion about GK after AIPMT exam will help you a lot. Because I gave you, I mean, some of the students, when I asked, I told them I had a friend who, just before the AIIMS exam, he prepared the notes and he asked me to study and all. So I got 1 or 2 questions from that. Unfortunately, he couldn't clear AIIMS, but I got it. But I'm so helpful that, I thank him for that. Because though it is just question, I feel ki he did his part in my success. So, वैसे group discussion se you also will get and the other person also will get. So it will be like sharing the points that we are having. Of course, every time group discussion is good, but as you are in a +2 level, I won't prefer that, because it will lead to gossips, it will lead to many other things, so better don't do that. But after your AIIMS AIPMT exam, just have a discussion about this GK part. Okay. Our study material covers information till October only. We are giving you study materials. We have tried our maximum to include the current affairs till October. Okay. जो November का portion है, you will have to have a general idea about it. I don't think कि मतलब उससे ज़्यादा पूछेंगे, फिर भी you should have an idea. I mean, Nobel Prize तो हो गया है, Man Booker Prize हो गया है. So all the important चीज़ in current affairs is actually included already. Anyways, if something crops up, maybe some kind of terrorist attack, we don't know, may or may not. So just keep a note of that. So you should have an idea about it. And the last one is, second last one is, revise our GK material at least twice during the month of May before your AIIMS exam. That May month is really important. Use our material once, twice, thrice. I mean, just so that you don't miss any question, because those GK questions will be very, very easy. If you know, it is very easy. Otherwise, it will be very tough. I saw many expressions while we were doing, so I know how was the paper. And of course, I won't say that all the questions in AIIMS are just meant to test your knowledge. There are 2 to 3 questions. I mean, don't panic during AIIMS exam seeing 2 to 3 out of seeing the question paper, because initial maybe 2 to 3 questions were out of the blue, just to scare you. Okay. I mean, no one will be knowing. Hamare 2011 time it was about Carnatic music. Okay, so we were totally unaware of that. So Carnatic music se kya pata hoga +2 level students go. So that was asked for our exam, just to test our luck rather than knowledge. So these are the golden rules that you should keep in mind while preparing for AIIMS GK part. So this is the general knowledge syllabus that we have prepared. We actually, I mean, no need of writing. You got the material, you got the paper, right? In that, we have included 20 questions. हमने कितना, I mean 2010 का paper हमने thoroughly 2010 से 2014 तक का we did a thorough discussion about it, analysis किया, फिर पता चला कि this is the pattern. Okay. So in that, most of the question will be from India at a glance, because what I have felt is that they are giving more importance what all the things that are happening in India rather than outside. About books and authors also, they are more concerned about the Indian authors and all. Okay, the things that are happening in India are given more importance. And awards and honors are really important, especially Bharat Ratna, then Man Booker Prize, Nobel Prize, that will be discussed later. About science and environment also, facts about our body, interesting facts about environment, inventions and discoveries, meters and measurements, manometer, seismograph. These are normal questions you'll be coming across, right? So this is also included. You'll be able to get one question out of it. One question out of 200 is good, right? I mean, you're not missing those simple parts. So in geography part also about rivers, lakes, dams, etc. will be asked, and one question will be there, and there will be miscellaneous junk from around the world. There will be other miscellaneous things, important days that will also we will be discussing it. This is just a brief idea to let you know that this is the usual trend. Okay, nothing outside it will be asked. So two questions maybe out of the blue, just leave that. Rest everything will be according to it.